Hey, welcome everybody to podcast number 116. Only a week and a half away from the TPC. Amazing start to the WCBT season. The Autumn Open was fantastic, 211 entries. I know we've talked about it over the last couple podcasts, but the WCBT is off to a hot start, and the TPC is looking to be even bigger than it ever has been.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Yeah, you're right. But before we get there, though, Carrie, don't you have an icon of Weber yet for the opening 5PNU crew? You got to be able to just swap them out depending on who's missing. Let's make notice here. No Dexter, right? Dexter Wiseman's not in, but the other twin is in tonight. Yeah.
So I wasn't even going to bring it up this week.
I was tempted to play the other one I already have prepared, but it would be Tim out and Adam in, and I didn't think that would be appropriate. So I went with the original. These things take time, people. It's not like I have a lot of free time.
Hey, I knew almost a week ago.
Yeah,
that's a new record for me.
I had a busy week.
Fair.
You're forgiven. It's all good.
Oh man!
But
I'll make sure for the next one.
Yeah.
Although I do see Dexter in the chat.
Well, yeah. You just didn't want to join in tonight, eh? Just going to be the guy chirping in the chat every 5 minutes. Is that the way it's going to work, Dex, or what?
So, let's actually bring up the first thing that we just thought of, literally 2 minutes before this podcast started. We're going to give away a piece of apparel from 5PN Universe. So to get in, you have to... here, I'll share it here for everybody.
Oh, there it is.
The hashtag 5PU draw, and we'll give away a piece of merch this week. And as a bonus, if you can take a picture of us actually being live streamed on your device or on your monitor or at your bowling alley or whatever, and you send it to one of the four of us, we'll make it any one of us, or to 5PN Universe directly, we will add you to a draw for next week as well. Right before the press conference, we'll give away another item, but it has to be while it's live, so it'll have to have that little live marker on it if it's on Facebook or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, we want to see pictures of where are you live streaming from. Are you at the bowling alley right now? Do you have it up on the screen at the bowling alley and playing League? Let's take a picture of it, right? Send that to us. You just, casually sitting on the couch watching the Oiler game tonight. Gonna win again, right?
Oilers,
right? Send us a picture. Where are you watching from, right? We want to know.
Look at this guy. He's not a part of one podcast, and he thinks he can pick us apart.
He's not wrong though.
Can't we put him on mute or something?
Oh yeah, probably. We could block him.
You're probably doing us all a favor. This is probably the best podcast yet.
Yeah, mic drop. It's 4 minutes in, and we're saying it's the best one ever.
Oh my God, Tyson Nelson there, you sent me one. I don't know what he's eating though. That looks gross. It looks like some kind of soup or something.
Is it a spud?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. But I tell you what, he needs to clean up. There's a lot of dust around the television.
Of course he can use filters. That works perfectly fine, Jen. We're good with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we look better with filters on.
Gray
That
out
makes
the
sense.
background. Can't you comment on the live into the comment section too? You can probably put it into there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Somebody share one of the pictures in the comment section. We'll see if we can see it on our side.
Yeah, where are you live streaming from?
And all you guys think I like you. Who says I'm going to actually forward these along? Like, Gino just sent me...
Adam's trying to figure it out. I can definitely see that Adam's
Yes,
working
sir.
at it. He's working hard at it.
I've nenever received a free piece of swag from WCBT or 5PNU. This feels like my only chance.
Okay. Yeah. I think you've earned yourself maybe something there, Weber.
Yeah, maybe we should.
I will. At the end of today, I'm going to win one.
I think we should get him a pair. We should get him a pair of sweatpants with the cuffed leg, right? Cuffed sweatpants.
So you can go jogging.
Beggars don't be choosers, bud.
It's an expensive gift.
Do you know how do you get them? Do you just throw some? You probably spill your drink on him on TPC. He'll buy whatever. You need.
That's right.
You're not wrong. Hey, where do you think this shirt came from?
Oh man. Yeah. So let's do a little banter about the TPC. So Timmy, as the resident on the board of the WCBT committee or TPC committee, let us know how it's looking, what's going on.
Yeah, it's exciting. We had finally put our priority deadline done for October 26th, so yesterday. So everything's kind of set in stone for those people that are looking to see where they are, whatnot. It was absolutely crazy this year. I haven't seen so many people swap shifts left, right, and center. I don't know. Maybe it's a new tournament for them this year, but it was absolutely crazy going back and forth. But the neat part for us is if you look at Friday and Thursday, there's no re-entries on those shifts, right? Those are all unique players. So it's going to make it a little bit easier for us, and it's going to honestly drive Saturday and make that filled up even more. So hoping to have the max. You always hope to have the max at 256 plus Thursday. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Obviously, you're always a little nervous with everything going on, but thankfully, Autumn Open was the first one, was the guinea pigs, and we have everything set up for protocols and whatnot. And we just got our liquor order in partial, and it's pretty fucking big. And we got 20 kegs coming tomorrow, and my Pepsi order didn't show up today, so that's why I always order a week in advance just in case. Mm-hmm. Because the last thing you do is for it to show up. So yeah, we're getting there. It's just tough. You can only do so much work until things. Dexter, this is not about you, okay? It's about me.
Hey Dex, do you think you might be able to do tensions at some point this week?
Tensions or maybe fix the head pins, right, Dex?
Or like every single lane at Sherwood Bowl?
Yeah. It's okay. You know what?
Can we make sure the ball returns return your ball after you throw the ball?
Sounds like a sore spot there, Adam. What happened? Did you get roasted on a corner that didn't carry, or what?
No, I get that all the time, but I keep bringing it up to him. But I don't know. He keeps complaining about Tim not doing any of that work, and then he doesn't do it. So
but yeah, let's talk about Dexter. He shoots 403 on Sunday, but he had 403 on Sunday, and then he had a 388 on Thursday, but he actually 403, but he fouled. So who fouls? I mean, who fouls on a 400?
Well, at least
somebody that doesn't tie his laces. Sorry.
There was massive scores though on Sunday night, right? At our match play Sunday night, there was 3 guys over 1200. So we see the lanes are already playing in good shape. So for anybody coming in, look forward to coming and throwing big scores. They're happening already. Not quite a pie house yet, but getting there.
You know what? I'm really interested on how the approaches are going to hold up. Just with synthetic lanes, like I was telling, it's $16 sandwiches. Yeah, don't worry, I'm going to plate them in gold for you, Mitch. But I just see approaches when there's so many people that are there. It's going to get so humid on certain shifts. I have a feeling they're going to get heavier, right? It's just a matter of time. So I would just learn to adjust to that because it's just with synthetic approaches. But that's the only thing I'm really worried about is just learning how to adjust to that, right? So I'm playing Friday morning, so that's not my problem.
Yeah, you got about 26, 27 people already playing Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
Getting a shot done early. And then you've got the invitational that's packed for the $1,000 entry on the men's and the ladies side. So that's going to be a pretty fun night to watch that Thursday. It'll be a bit of a production, I'm sure, to it. Super excited.
We're missing we're scrounging up for one lady to fill the last spot for the ladies. And right. I'm certain we will. Just been tough trying to fill that one up this year. But we have 16 spots for the $1,000 buy-in. And there is one lady playing with us. So I'm super excited she is. And I don't know about you, but I'm always nervous about the draw more than the invitational, because you always want to know who you want to play, right? And
when's that draw happening?
We're gonna do it on probably Sunday night.
Match play.
Yeah,
Before it or yeah.
Well, I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Maybe during match play.
Yeah, Daryl. Oh yeah. When we get Mark and Henry to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Dawson Henry to do it. Yeah, that'll be 15 minutes later and 2 draws done. I mean, that would be them. But I'm excited. I don't know. I haven't announced the names yet because I kind of want to keep it a secret, but I think it's probably the strongest field we've had.
Awesome.
Yeah.
5-Pin Universe will also be streaming the Invitational on Thursday. The WCBT will stream the main event stuff, but us as 5-Pin Universe will stream. Hopefully we'll be able to stream the guys and the ladies at the same time on the same screen for everybody watching. You won't be able to see all the matches, but we'll try and get one of each going on.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of commentary there, bud.
Yeah, if you're looking to commentate, you're all over it.
Yeah, no, I've already chatted a bit with Johnny about it, and sort of obviously you guys will be playing, so happy to watch you guys play. But it also keeps me busy on the side and something to do. And I know there's lots of people out there watching it online than they are watching it in person. Maybe there's people watching it in person and would put the headphones and still listen to me commentating it while they're in the building watching it.
Are you one of those guys that goes to the Eskimo games and has the 6:30 chat on it?
That's more the baseball, isn't it? Isn't it baseball games?
There's an old guy in my dad's section that does that. I'm like, you are just nuts.
Or the racetrack. Definitely the racetrack.
Yeah.
So enough TPC, but quickly let's do Pro Team League. We had that, and we also did the 8-gamer carry. So Pro Team League we had Sunday morning. The Dream Crushers played the Heartland Kingpins and the Okanagan Eclipse. You three all played. Successful weekend. How was that first match, first game day for you guys playing that? I mean, Kerry, you probably don't have a whole lot to say about this.
Some of us played. I got yanked in the first match against Okanagan Eclipse, more than deserving, because I wasn't very sharp. But the rest of the team played really well. We held our own.
You know, if Carrie was a female, I'm sure he would have been in for Katie at one point. But
no, I have to switch one letter. I should have been in for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but we only had the one female, and Katie struggled a little bit, but. It was good. It was a lot. I'll be honest with you. I did not know what to expect, and it was a lot more fun and more intense than I thought it was going to be for us. Just playing on your own lane and everything else like that. I didn't know how to go, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was much better experience than I ever could have anticipated for it. Right?
I don't know what all those coaches have to say bad about you, Tim. You played well. You always play well on teams. I don't know why you're always benched all the time. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. Hey, and let's speak about our coach a little bit. So raw with a lot of emotion and he talked a whole lot. No, Danny was pretty quiet, but
just let you guys do your thing.
Yeah, you know what? It was great. We beat Heartland, and I think that was our main goal. I know I talk a lot of smack to Robert, and halfway through it was real tight, and Kerry's like, "We better not lose them, or we never hear the end of this."
Hi, Robert.
Yeah. So thank fuck we won. That's all I have to say. But it was super great. It was a good experience. Both matches were super close, and that's all you can ever ask for.
Yeah, definitely a cool experience. That whole single lane thing was kind of odd, right? But it was just nice to get back into a pit with a group of people, getting your double high fives, and just kind of getting back into that kind of open feel was really cool. I think we were quite fortunate because there was a couple other events going on at Sherwood at the same time, so it didn't. It wasn't weird not having sounds kind of going on next to you. But boy, it was definitely fun just to get back in there. I ended up losing both matches, just a couple, solid 260s, which just isn't good enough. But we shot a couple 1300s, and it was fun. It was good.
So if people want to see the standings and stuff like that, they can go to 5pinuniverse.ca and go to the 5Pin Universe events. The standings are at the bottom of the page, and you can kind of see how teams have been playing and stuff like that, and keep up to date if you can't watch live.
Mm-hmm. And there's another one this weekend. So we've got a couple of Thunder Bay teams and Grand Prairie playing weekend. Obviously, every Sunday morning as much as possible. Is that full schedule made public now, Kerry?
No, we were going to make it public, but we've run into a couple more schedule issues, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. So for that reason, we're not gonna make it public till probably halfway through the season once we iron out everything. Maybe we can do
the next 3 weeks. This is what the next 3 weeks, if we know those are for sure. I mean, even if there's changes in that, I don't know. Obviously, there's TPC.
The changes are actually within that time frame. So
okay, got it. Never mind. Great idea.
Hoping to get it all figured out. But the next week is definitely ironed out. But
yeah, this Sunday morning, next one, Halloween morning, get up and have some chocolate and start the day off right.
Yeah, exactly. And then for the people that don't realize, the semifinals were released today for the 8 Gamer. So they are live on our YouTube page. Please go and watch it, and you get to see who's competing in the finals. I won't spoil it for those ones that haven't watched it yet, but kind of the guys I would have picked to be in the final anyway. So it worked out good for the 8 Gamer. So
you're telling me that you and Daryl are not supposed to be in the finals together?
Well, if it wasn't me and Daryl, it was these two.
Yeah.
Or me, or Daryl and John Stone, or pretty much actually everybody in the top 24 had a really good chance at it.
There's about 22 other guys I'd rather see in the final, but if it wasn't those 22, it would be these two for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying it. Yeah.
It's being released Friday at 5 Mountain Standard Time, so
perfect.
Watch all the other ones before you get to Friday at 5 to watch the new one live. So, so I guess we should probably get to our guests. They've been waiting patiently in the background here. Let's pay some bills first. So you can become a patron of 5-Pin Universe at patreon.com/5pinuniverse for as little as $2 a month Canadian, and you can help us out. Everybody that's been helping us out already, can't thank you enough. Been doing a great job. We appreciate it. Slowly more and more content's being produced that we're able to get out there and help us live stream events like the Invitational, the doubles at the Autumn Open. We were able to live stream with your guys' help, so thank you very much. And thanks again to All-Star Bowling Sales. They are our sponsor of the week. We won't be giving away anything this week. We're going to give away our 5-Pin Universe apparel for this week, so make sure you get your comment in, hashtag 5PU draw. Man, that sounds bad. It sounds like we're repping a skunk line or something like that. I'll have to figure out a better tag. All right, we'll run All Stars commercial and we'll bring our special guest. I feel all nervous this week. I don't know what's going on. I'm stumbling over my words more than usual.
This is where we need in the background the little fist pumps or something like that, so I can throw in there. But we didn't transfer him over to the podcast banner brand back end. But.
It's the No Dexter safety blanket.
Yeah,
that's right. The nervous laughter on the back end. Dang. So our special guest, obviously, if people don't know, the latest perfect game thrower on the WCBT, taking home just under 10 Gs for his efforts. We got, for all the way hailing from BC, Mr. Randy Main. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
I thought there was some confusion if it was BC or Ontario or Quebec or Newfoundland or Yellowknife or something like that. There was a lot of chit chatter going around after that perfect game. Where's he from?
It's still confusing for me too. We made the move during the pandemic, so I didn't really get a chance to tell people from Ontario that I was leaving. The plan was to try to go back at some point and do a proper send-off, but that hasn't happened yet, so I'm sure it was news to some people.
Nice.
Yeah. So obviously you are formerly Ontario. Is there a main region that you're normally hailing from?
I spent the last 15 years in the Toronto area.
So you got to hang out with all the main Ontario guys and all the big shooters, and at least you got to stay away from Mitch Davies. He's more Hamilton region, right?
He's more Hamilton region, yeah. Actually, a lot of the bowlers are not from downtown Toronto, which is where I was living.
Right.
So even though you're in the most populous city, you're a little bit isolated from the bowling community there.
So how far of a drive was it to like your nearest bowling center?
An hour. Wouldn't be an hour if it weren't for traffic, but
Right.
traffic there is terrible.
Yeah, it's an hour, but it's only 3 blocks.
Right. Oh, exactly.
Is that where you started bowling, Randy? Like as a kid, did you do some YBC stuff? Let's go back a few years to where the beginning all started for bowling.
Yeah, I started bowling when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I actually started in London, Ontario, which is about 2 hours away from Toronto. It's still a pretty big city, 400,000 people. I did my full YBC there at an alley called Bowlerama London, which was not part of the Bowlerama chain. They changed their name a little bit to be Bowl-A-Rama. And it was a nice center. It was 24 lanes, 12 on each side, fantastic viewing area. The lanes themselves were about 2.5 to 3 feet below the viewing area, so you could really easily see what was going on. And very well maintained place. I think it closed down 3 or 4 years ago now. Not too long.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Is it just one of the ones that just succumbed to the high lease rates, or what? Why did they close down? Just people weren't there anymore? What was the problem?
So I wasn't too engaged with bowling there after I moved to Toronto, so I don't know too much about what happened. But my understanding is that the original owners there when I was there, they were bowlers. They loved bowling. They were very passionate. And the alley got bought by a family who had no relation to bowling whatsoever. And they were actually just buying the business to give to their son as a practice business so that he could, learn the ropes of running a business. And which sounds nerve-wracking to a bowler. You don't
Yeah.
You want people who love the sport to be running your alley. My understanding though is that he did a pretty good job, and he engaged with the leagues, he engaged with the sport, and kept it going for quite some time. But he's got no incentive to pass it on to somebody else, and eventually he just got tired and sold it, I guess.
Right, that's too bad.
Yeah,
It's interesting, obviously so many of them have closed across the country, and it's, why and what the reasons and what happens out there. It's just heartbreaking that obviously more of them closed, so just more interested to know that.
Yeah, I really wanted to go back and actually play one more time there before it closed, and I didn't actually get the chance. It happened so fast, so unfortunate, but that's how it's going right now, right?
Yeah.
So I did my YBC there, and maybe a year or two in the adult leagues before I moved away for school. I went to a small town called Peterborough and bowled a couple of years there. Did Masters over those 2 years, did the Open, basically did every tournament I could possibly try to get into at that point. My parents were really good about basically driving me everywhere. They would take time off work. They would drive to Toronto to pick me up and take me to tournaments. I took advantage of it and bowled a lot over those years. Then I moved to Toronto and kind of fell away from bowling a little bit and fell into the city life. Big city, I'm in my 20s. I want to go have some fun. And kind of bowling took a back seat for a little bit. I spent all the time in Toronto up until just last year when I moved to BC.
I feel like there was a connection to Dave Post or Al Hong or somebody about Peterborough. The Pete's. I could just
Posty. Yeah.
Posty's from Peterborough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember him talking about junior hockey and talking about the Pete's, right? So.
Yeah, I didn't. I know Dave. I didn't get to know him too well though. It was just kind of in passing at tournaments. But I actually didn't know he was from Peterborough.
Yeah.
There you go, Posty. Shout out to Posty. There you go. Win for the 5-pin, you guys. Hey, Posty, are you watching? Yeah. Nice. But back in the day, like when you're in London, who were some of the guys that would have been the better players or days, or some really great players that we would know name wise that would have played out of London that you're watching as you're growing up?
Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, as I was doing YBC there, Dave Cameron was one of the top shooters out of the zone. I actually didn't get to see him too much or play with him too much. For whatever reason, our paths didn't cross. I spent a lot of time bowling with some of the Bowlerama London guys, Brenda and Daryl Davidson, Bucky Faulkner, Bob Jolliffe, Chris Jolliffe. Guys, I have no idea if they're still bowling or not. For some of them are, but. And then there was Park and Bowl in St. Thomas was kind of the other big house in the zone, where the guys like Jim Thorpe and the Luscombes come from. And then I guess the third house would be Fleetway 40. They didn't get sanctioned for some reason towards the later years that I was there, or maybe just after I moved away. But they still had some good bowlers. The Pankoffs are from there, so I spent a lot of time bowling with them. It was a strong zone. We had some good bowlers, and the competition was tough for sure.
Yeah, I think we remember that chatting with the Pankoffs. Like, if that's the connection there for sure.
Yeah.
So success as a bowler, YBC days, a couple of 4 steps experiences. I mean, a bit of a taste of the competitive life. What was those ones like for you?
Yeah, I think the first 4 steps I made was back in probably late 90s, 97 I think. I was in juniors, and I was just a casual bowler at the time, probably averaging like 160, 170. I wasn't great, but I wasn't bad for a junior. And that was the first time I got to go to a provincial event. And the provincials were a big thing. You get to go stay at a hotel with all your friends and have a ton of fun, and then go bowl this tournament. It was a great spectacle, and I think that first provincial 4 steps was what hooked me on bowling. I was like, I want this more. I want to do this every weekend if I can, because it's just so much fun. And we came second that year at provincials, heartbreakingly so, because we were bowling amazing. It was a 3-game event at the time, and we put up over 1,000 every single game for juniors, which was very good. And we got edged out in the end by, I think it was 17 sticks. No, it was 17. I remember that number quite well.
We all stick onto those ones, eh, guys? They did the 11, the 9.
You stick onto those ones, and it was all because a team from somewhere in the GTA, I think like Bramley, the Central Ontario region, threw like almost 1,300 their last game to just pass us. I think Bobby Torvo was on that team actually. It's heartbreaking to lose like that, but the experience was enough, and I was hooked. And then through my senior years, I had quite a bit of success making senior mixed teams, making tons of 4 steps teams, got 4 steps provincial singles experience, won the Master Senior towards the later years of my YBC, which was really, really incredible. That was a big event. And yeah, it's so much fun to go and do those tournaments. So that was it. YBC hooked me, and I knew I wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
Nice. I like it. And so then when did you start trying out and playing any of the opens? You got a couple of opens and masters you had chatted about. So what was the first one that came through? And obviously, like you talked about in your zone, made a number of zone teams and then provincials. Ever going to nationals or close, or how was the open experiences?
Close, yes. I've actually never made it to a national tournament. I've always been told that it's making a national out of Ontario is almost harder than making the nationals. I don't know if that's true. I've never been to one. So, but it's tough. There's tough competition everywhere in the province, and to make a national was a huge thing. I would say the closest I got in the adults would have been that second year that I went to the Open. I was playing for the Peterborough men's team, and we bowled amazing through the event. We were not one of the favorite teams, but we had a good solid team, and ended up top after the round robin. And the stepladder had to get beat twice, and I don't want to disclose what I bowled because it definitely contributed to us not going to nationals. But yeah, that was the closest. It's still on my bucket list. That's one I gotta check off at some point for sure.
And are you playing Masters now? Obviously, you took a number of years off. Are you looking to play those now, the Opens and the Masters in BC?
Well, ever since autumn, I've been getting lots of emails about coming out to play the Masters. I missed the first event, but there's still a couple more, and it's a maybe. I don't know. It's a matter of fitting all of it into my schedule. It's a matter of finances. Maybe not so much anymore, as we'll talk about. But
Yeah.
For you, exactly what area are you in BC? Sorry if I missed that.
Yeah, I'm in Maple Ridge, so that's about half hour outside of Vancouver. We're in the Fraser Valley region, Fraser Valley North, I think.
So a lot of the Masters tournament, do they happen in the Vancouver region, or I know Ian McRitchie playing out of Prince George, he has quite the drive to go to all the Masters events. I think he still competes in them, but I'm not sure. Is there a lot of travel for that reason for the Masters as well? Yeah.
I think if I read the schedule right, the first one was on the island, which has already happened, and I believe that all the next events are in the greater Vancouver area, which that's great for me. But if you're up in Prince George, or if you're in the Okanagan, that's quite the drive that you've got to make for these events. So
yeah, for sure.
Sometimes they have them in the Okanagan, but I think they probably swap the island and Okanagan. Yeah.
Right.
Sure lucky here, and thinking about that in
huge.
Alberta, right? You mean you've got Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer, Central. We don't really go up to GP for a Masters event, but you get the Vancouvers, or you get the BCs or the Ontarios. I mean, such a huge area to go and cover. Manitoba's obviously got a little bit of distance, but mostly Winnipeg. Saskatchewan too, like maybe two cities, right? But not as big as Vancouver or BC and Ontario.
What do you think about it? Sorry, go ahead, Kerry.
We're lucky too. Like you're saying, Daryl, ours are also close, but we could be having them in Lethbridge, or we could have Medicine Hat, or we could have them up in GP, or Fort Mac isn't really an issue anymore. But our travel could be so far extended too, but we kind of centralized everything, so everybody has to travel at least at some point. But yeah, I couldn't imagine BC, where you have most of your Masters in the populated area, but you do have those outlying players that have to travel that far if they just want to compete, like our Bonnie McDonald in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
She has to travel to every Masters tournament. I get it, but
It's tough, man. It's tough for those players, right, to go and do
Winnipeg,
that.
right? For Masters,
Makes it easier if you're making them all the
Yeah.
time and you know how much it enjoys it. But once you start missing them, that's when it gets easier to, right? Missing the cut, not making the teams. It makes it easier to miss them, right?
yeah, for sure. You don't feel obligated to be there because you're a perennial on the team or whatever, right? You just, well, I'm going to take this year off because I don't feel like driving the 8 hours, the 10 hours to go play.
Yeah.
Was it different for Alberta Masters back in the day? Did we have to travel, say, from Edmonton down to Lethbridge or any of that? It was, right? Was it individually? Was it pure Sundays at that point, or were they still doing it?
Oh,
I don't. Not since I started playing. It's always been the three main centers.
Yeah. Okay.
I know they played down at Lethbridge and Medicine Hat at some point. I remember that, but I think the biggest thing was the lack of participation from the South, and I think, from my understanding, they said they were going to centralize it to the three other zones. Just made a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be Northern Ontario.
Oh, wow. Our shortest is doing a lot. Sorry, Jeff. Oh, man. Poor guy.
Yeah, so actually, during our move from Toronto to Vancouver, we actually drove across the country, and Northern Ontario is huge. Turns out,
Yeah.
You drive for days and you still haven't left it.
Yeah. Well, it takes us, like, if we were to drive to Winnipeg for like the Manitoba Open or whatever, it'd be 16 hours from the Edmonton area. And then I think it's 8 hours just to Thunder Bay from Winnipeg. Like, and then you still got how far to get to Toronto? Like, it's unreal how much farther it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so it's over a day.
Yeah. Crazy.
Steve Barker brings one up about the open single step ladder that was on there. Let's chat about that. I think 2004.
Yeah,
it's always cool. I mean, making a single step ladder, right, at a provincial event.
Yeah, that was the Ontario Open Provincials at that point was held at Sherwood Bowl in Hamilton.
Always, that's right.
Always, because it was a fantastic center to hold that event at. Tons of viewing space, and they had
and great sandwiches downstairs.
And good sandwiches.
Speaking of $16 sandwiches, yeah.
So that year that I made the single step ladder was actually my rookie year. I was bowling out of London, and both myself and Jim Thorpe, who was on our team, made the step ladder that year. I was bowling amazing at Sherwood. There was a Masters event just 5 or 6 weeks before the Open, maybe not even that much. And I threw almost 2,900 for 10, including almost 1,600 for my first 5. And then I walked into the Open, played my first 5, and shot 15.5 again. Didn't do so well on the second day, but I managed to make the cut still. And it was. I won my first match. That was nice. I figured I would just do absolutely terrible being nervous in front of that many people, but I threw a 270 something, a respectable game, and won. And then came up against Steve Barker in the three versus
Steve. Yeah, I wouldn't have. Sorry, buddy. I wouldn't have brought it up so quick if Barker was the one that you played. Touche. Well done. Well played, buddy.
Yeah, he did that one well. No, he bowled. I don't remember what he bowled. It was a big game. He bowled 3.5 almost, I think, at me. And if you're gonna lose, if the other guy throws 3.5, what are you gonna do? There's not much. But as my consolation walking away from that was that Jim Thorpe was in the second spot, and I know he was not going to let me win. There was no way I was getting past him. He would have made that very clear to me if I played him.
Right, there you go.
But in all fairness, I think Steve had hair back then. Now he doesn't, right? So, joke's on him.
2004, I don't think Barker had hair.
I don't think so.
No, probably not.
There's no chance.
No.
Oh, well, that's just jokes on him. No,
but you mentioned Jim Thorpe. Now, growing up and even those early days, obviously being that close and seeing him could have obviously a bit of a bowling idol. But chat about him and some of the other people that had the impressions on you when you were younger.
Yeah, sure. So, Jim was probably the top shooter in the zone that I was playing out of, the London Mid-Elgin zone. Especially at that time, he was at the top of his game. And actually, we didn't really know each other from YBC. He played in St. Thomas, and I played out of London. And as we'll probably talk about a little bit later, I don't think I was a very well-liked bowler. I had a really big temper when I came out of YBC, and a really big ego. And when I shot the qualifying for that, I think I put up about 2,800 again for the first 10. And somebody told me that Jim said, "I'm not letting that kid beat me," and I don't know what he threw on the second day, but it was close to 3,000 to best me at like 5,700 or something. Just crazy bowling that he was able to just pull out if he really wanted to do it. And the way he threw just was mesmerizing because he didn't throw a hard shot. It was a nice finesse shot, which I was doing as well. I really appreciated it. Just wonderful to watch him bowl.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about some other guys that then too?
Yeah, so when I went into the adult leagues and got some exposure to them, some of the ones that stood out, Terry Little was another big bowler from that region. He was down near Windsor, so kind of London region, but not quite. Still far away, but closer than he was to any other major city. And so I got to see him bowl a lot. Again, another nice finesse shot that's just great to watch. Jim Head was another one that stood out to me. He was really at the top of his game as well when I was coming out of YBC, and with such a unique style that you can't not watch him do it. I didn't get to see him during my YBC, so when I joined the Masters and all of a sudden there's this guy bowling like that, and you're like, how on earth does he do that?
Full.
I've tried to do the impressions, and Popeye comes out, he does impressions, and I've tried, but I don't know if anybody has ever mastered the Jim or the Jim Head impression.
I'll admit, I've tried it too. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Davies here has a little comment for you. I'm not sure if that's an inside joke between you two, or if he's never seen you get angry or rub anybody the wrong way, or if there's an instance.
We've got that as a note for later. I'll dive into a little bit of depth on that. I've changed a lot about my mentality towards the game and my mentality towards the other people who play the game. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
We will totally get into that. Now, you had mentioned earlier before we were doing our banter, and the idea came up about playing What's My Score. I know there's a lot of fans out there on What's My Score that haven't played for a while. So Randy sort of said, I used to have to hand score keep, so I used to listen and win those all the time. So Randy's thrown a bit of a challenge out there for What's My Score.
I think Kathy's bowling too. So
yes, Kathy, really are you upset. There? Yeah. Anybody want to play What's My Score against Randy Main tonight? Well, we might pull that up here in about 10 minutes.
I think Daryl just threw our guest under the bus because I think he said I'm probably gonna bomb it. He didn't say he was gonna wipe the floor with us.
So I did bring it up before, but I'm now regretting that I had done that. Because, I've propped myself up now as somebody who can both manually keep score, but what I haven't mentioned is I also did a math major in university. So if I do this and lose, it's really gonna hurt me.
How about some of the coaches, back then too? You've got a few that you've mentioned on here. Some of those guys that you can share with us. Some of the people that helped you.
The first one I put on there was Mike Lohr. He was the program director at Bowlerama London. And sorry, one quick second.
No worries.
Love you. Just gotta see my darling out here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And he was the YBC program director. I was, a pretty big. I was a bit of a star in the YBC there. I was carrying a higher average than the other bowlers, so he took a lot of interest in me and tried to help me as much as he could. I haven't actually been in contact with him much lately. I don't know how he's doing, but maybe if somebody out there stays in contact with him, they can let me know. Then there was Jerry Cripps. Jerry Ace Cripps was my... he coached a lot of the YBC senior tournaments I did, like the senior mixed and the youth challenge and stuff like that. And he was a great coach because he was able to take my head out of being frustrated and getting angry and turned it into jokes and having fun. If I threw a bad shot, he wouldn't come up to me and tell me what to do. He would just give me a kick in the ass and say, do it better next time. And just try to lightheartedly get me bowling a little bit better and get me laughing. He was fantastic for that. And then, Brenda I put on there as well. Brenda actually taught me, she did my coaching course, my level 1 coaching course as an instructor, and I actually learned a lot from her. You take a course to become a coach, and you end up learning more yourself about your own game than you actually do about coaching somebody else's. So that was really valuable. And she actually, when I did the single step ladder, she was behind me. She probably didn't know my game the best out of everybody, but I knew she was a solid pick, and I knew that if there was something I needed to hear, she would be someone who could get the message through to me and help me out. And then the last one is my best friend in bowling that I've had for a long time, Nathan Cooper. He's always been a very good friend to me, always giving me little tips here and there. He probably doesn't know how much he helps me, because every time he gives me a tip, I tell him he's wrong and that what he's telling me isn't useful. And then like six months later, I end up doing it anyways, and it works.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. That's right.
Did you say anything about a Jerry Ace Cripps, or did I miss that part?
Yeah. He was. He did a lot of my YBC coaching of like.
I just love his name, Ace Cripps, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. So for anybody knowing the game of the What's My Score, where you might look to play. I don't know if Carrie's got a couple ready. We've got Nathan Cooper and Steve Greensides. We're hoping that our cameras and stuff will work. We might have a game. Obviously, we've been teased a couple times about Randy's game and how that changed. So we'll get to that later. Obviously, the perfect game we know about. We're going to get to that story. But I think we'll have a little game, and then we can move on to some of that stuff. Does that sound?
Oh, we want to do that now.
Yeah, you know what you're saying. You want to do that?
Man,
Let's get.
I can.
You send him the link. Carrie will chat about a couple other things, and then once they're both in the back room, we'll play the game.
Daryl's prepared to win this.
He's hosting.
I got this part. Yeah. Adam's got to get your scratch card ready. Everybody go get your little card ready.
Hey, could you put that back up there so I can see the answers again?
Yeah.
Can I use paper? Is that allowed?
Yeah, you can use paper for sure.
Oh, good.
If you want to cheat, you can use your app.
Takes too long. Can you really do that? 3 frames on there?
You can put your app on there. Turn them all off his gutters until frame 8.
No, Steve doesn't have camera, so you might have a hard time playing, Steve. Send it to Mitch. Send it to Mitch Davies. He says,
you know what? Why don't you bring Bart?
That was
maybe
different.
You can have a better chance. Beat him again.
Well, we got one. I'm not sure if Steve can comment in the chat since he doesn't have a camera, but maybe we should. Does anybody else want to play? You can put your comment in the chat here, and I'll put you in. We got Nathan. He's ready to rock and roll.
he's ready. He's like, I've just been waiting for it. I want it.
Yeah. What about Mitch? Let's bring Mitch on. Yeah.
Mitch Davies there. Yeah. Who's suitable to play the game with us here, gents?
We'll wait for one more person before we start this.
Okay.
What's my score game? It's been too long.
Yeah,
I might have to take a back seat on this one and see if I can throw this up here. This was sent to us, Tim, from one of our viewers. Looking good.
What a dick.
We did chat earlier about TPC. Randy, you are planning on coming to TPC?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
That wasn't for sure until 3, but it looks like I'm not going to get one, so maybe I actually have to sign up for another one to try and squeeze in on the Saturday if I want to get 3.
Yeah, it's crazy. I signed up for all of them, and I might only get 2.
Yeah, Dex is panicking. Because he's like, I signed up for Friday, I'm not going to get in, so you might have to play Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon gets a lot of influx, right? Because all those people coming and going, right? So
yeah, but the Saturday people is all re-entries, so they're going to be quality people that are playing Saturday afternoon because there's only 5-6 new people, so everybody's trying to get their game in, their spot in. And if you don't get it in early, then people will be switching around. It'll be people playing. It'll be it'll be a quality shift. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think so, but there's okay, Mitch is in. He said he's coming in.
Mitch who?
Davies.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, Saturday morning, I think there'd be, even though there's not a lot of rebuys on Friday, there's still going to be a lot of influx because how late Friday could go, even though we took a game out. And then, who knows, maybe some people might sit with their scores or whatnot. But it's just that the fact is we only have 5 or 6 unique bowlers for the first shifts on Saturday afternoon. So that's 74 rebuys already, and then plus the ones on the wait list. We go through a ton of people that we have to go back and forth on, right?
You do. It's a lot of work, but it'll be full of quality players.
We'll have full, but I think we'll go through that wait list.
Yeah.
I think, it's usually that way.
Yeah, the problem with that Saturday afternoon shift is just pace.
Oh, it's going to take 8 hours.
Yeah.
But when
like Daryl said, it's going to be full of, like you say, fairly quality players, right? The ones that have played the Thursday, Friday morning and just can't sit on their score. So they're going to play Saturday afternoon because they might not fit Saturday morning, right? So you're going to have a lot of your second entry people in that shift. It's not going to be surprised. It's not going to be your third and fourth entries, right?
So I wouldn't be sitting unless you're 20, 19 and up. Right? Even less, right? There's going to be a dozen people in that last shift that'll be capable out of 80 people.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. So let's get this game rocking.
Yeah, let's play games.
We got our people in.
Yeah, let's okay. Let's bring him into the background or into the front. Let's see what we got.
Oh, see, they're ready to go. Look at the shirt on Davies. He knows what's going on.
That way. It's too close to me.
What's up, fellas? You ready to play a game here? Yeah.
Here, we'll see if we can give you a little more room there.
Yeah, I can get out of here too with Carrie. So.
No, you guys can all play. You guys can all play.
I don't play very well at this game.
I know you don't.
Tim,
but
you should play.
It's fun to watch you though. Yeah. Tim will play for double. Okay, so here's how the game works. It's your what's my score? Last 3 frames, you've got 8, 9, 10. What's your maximum score?
135.
135. So I'll basically tell you, so the start is the 8th frame, and then the 9th frame, and the 10th frame, obviously. First one to put their hand up, make sure you panned up in front of the camera so I can see you. And the first person to get 3 wins. There you go. Okay, here we go. 13, miss 2, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5. Ooh.
I think Nathan, maybe
41.
Yeah,
41 is the game with the winner. Wow.
I'll be the spotter, Daryl. I'll be the spotter.
Oh,
these guys came to play. There was 4 of them with fingers up faster than we've had anyone.
So
before.
is it? Did you get these scores from your Sunday night bowling, Daryl? Or
no.
I was going to clarify.
It's a lot less chirping this week, DB?
Okay, yeah, Thanks, buddy. Okay, next one. 4-bagger, miss.
One.
Yikes. I'll give it to Mitch because Nathan won the first one. It was pretty close.
125.
125. Yeah, you got her.
Wow. Wait a sec. What is a miss? Who's bowling? If I miss, I probably pick a 3.
I miss
Out in Alberta, Randy, that's called the cherry.
Hey, Mitch as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The cherry's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Alberta terminology for everybody.
Get on board.
I'll learn it soon.
Left corner spare. Left corner miss deuce. Strike chop cherry.
That's Mitch.
71.
71 it is, yeah. Well done, Mitch. Wow. This is impressive. Okay.
Does Randy have one? Does Randy have one?
We're surprised because the guy with the math degree hasn't got a single one yet.
Yeah.
I think The latency on Randy's side must be the problem. He's all the way out in BC.
Yeah. I think Stevie Greenside's probably is one, but he's just typing it in, and by the time it's taking to type it in,
I was thinking the same.
Look, when you do a math major, you only use letters. There's no numbers anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Headpin 5-2, strike, split, deuce, deuce.
Ooh, that was Randy. Just barely got you, Adam.
It was not, but okay.
I don't know if this is
on my side it was.
Okay.
Is it 49?
It is 49.
That's what I had.
It is 49.
He just got you by a split second on my side.
I'll check the video later.
Instant replay.
You remember, I'm on Elon's internet, so I'm clearly right.
Hey, ties go to the guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, boys. Strike, head pin, 5 miss, double 3 pin.
That was Mitch
58.
by a mile.
Nope.
What
And
is
it was
it?
Nathan.
68.
Yeah.
Yeah, 68.
Oh, like Jeopardy, you just got to go quick.
Put it up before the question.
Get the answer after you put your hand up.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Right corner spare, right corner miss, left corner spare, left corner.
That was Mitch again.
That
It's
was
too late. Wrong.
oh,
Let's go Adam.
69.
That's right.
just throw it up there.
So every time Mitch gets it wrong, does he get a point?
He loses
He
Oh,
should
right,
lose
yeah.
a point, yeah.
So he's at 0 or, you know.
Doc.
Those aren't the rules, man. Those are the rules.
We make our own rules. That's how it works.
Okay, 12 miss, double chop cherry.
Cherry's a 3-pin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was Randy.
I think it's 74.
Adam.
68?
Nathan.
80.
80 is the winner. Yeah,
Nathan's got 3.
Nathan's got 3. I think Steve Greensides might have got that one. For
He
sure, though.
probably
He definitely put it in.
Oh, man.
Well done, sir. That's the game. You guys were good at this one tonight. You guys
Least
came
to
ready
3?
came ready to play. Wow.
All right, who got 2 at least?
Yeah.
Nathan, I think.
Nathan got 3, or did Nathan have
Nathan.
2?
Nathan got 3.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Congrats.
Mitch got 2 and then lost 2, so he was at 0.
Just keep guessing. Just keep guessing.
You just gotta beat me, Coop. You can't let me win. Can you?
Hey, you got the first 450. You got that one.
Yeah, that's actually something. Coop and I have a little ongoing bet over a number of things that we haven't done yet. We can talk about that later.
While we have you guys, though, Nathan, quick comment. Obviously, Randy mentioned you as being buddies and playing lots together. Any comment about Nathan and his game and him as a bowler?
He's
Watching Randy bowl, I think I've seen the evolution of his style. Like, when I first met him in YBC singles in Ottawa, he had his arm coming all the way out to the side, almost full extension. Then, like 5 years later, it was behind the back. Then I see him bowl the 450, and his arms are starting out the side, and the backswing's almost straight back and straight forward. So it's like almost one of those like 25-year evolution of bowling. Watching Randy bowl, it's pretty cool.
Right, neat. And Mitch, we obviously asked that question. You made a comment about not have any bad about Randy. How about say him too? If you want to throw a quick comment about Randy and his.
No,
bowling
I've
stuff.
never known. I've known Randy. I mean, obviously not as personal as Nathan does, or pretty much a lot of other people. But I've known Randy for a long time. A good 12 years. Coming up right away, I played against Randy many years, and I've never known Randy as a guy to be angry or upset or judgmental towards somebody or confrontational whatsoever. So that does strike me as a surprise. Randy's always been a really good player, always been a recognized player as well. People always still would say, "Oh, that guy's pretty solid." He just could never get the big ones. Randy can never get the wins, but he's always been there. So no, as far as temperament goes, Randy, I've never known you to be like that at all.
Be interesting to hear Randy's take and all that good stuff.
Maybe we're gonna go there earlier than our perfect game. We
you're
might
in
be
for a
going there
story.
next.
No,
we'll do it.
I'll be listening for sure.
Yeah. But thanks, guys, for playing the game. Obviously, good to see you both chiming in there. Anything else from you guys before they go? Any Tim? I'm sure you got a shot that you want to say to Mitch's face at all. I know you always back behind his back, but here he is in front of you. What do you want to say?
To be honest with you, we were throwing shots today in our group chat all day today, so nothing like me throwing daggers when I don't see him in person.
Fantasy bowling is upon us, all right? That's the most important part of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Free entry.
Hey, I guess we can say who wants Couchman to do a cider review. That's what we're talking about.
I definitely think he should, especially at Sherwood Bowl where he'll go broke buying one drink.
Jokes on him. Everything's a 10 out of 10, right? I never seen him.
No matter what it is, give it 9.8. I don't know what it was from the
Hey, we should say while we're on here that congratulations to Nathan on his 20-game championship.
Mm-hmm.
He did awesome. Yeah, he beat Mitch, I believe, in the last little bit. So
yeah,
I also had a foul in there, so Dexter shouldn't feel bad.
Oh, you guys both should feel bad, but
didn't you win? You won by 8 points. You won only by 8 points or something like that, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened in the 10th frame? Did you know what you needed, or what? Did you shoot it, or
I
Mitch not?
actually thought I lost, and I went over to congratulate Mitch, and he's like, "Congratulations," because I thought I only had him by 54 going into the last two, but turns out it was 74.
Yeah. No, I threw first, but I had control because I had a spare in 9 and he didn't. We were one lane over. It's an 8-lane center. It's not hard to see somebody, but he had an open in 9, and I had a corner spare in 9, and I hadn't thrown a strike since the 3rd frame, but I had 219 and 8. So I kept hitting the side a fair bit. I stuck with a thin line that I thought I could stick with. I knew I couldn't finish any worse than second, so I said to myself, go straight at it. And I'm like, no, you've been throwing a good ball with this thin line, and I fucking shanked it. So good job.
Hey, so for many of you guys don't know out there, I'm surprised Mitch didn't just have like a deal for 1-2, because that's what he usually does for a lot of those things. So he has no faith in himself. So
I actually have experienced that before when we played $500 entry.
Yeah.
I think it was down to me and Mitch going into the finals, and we did a 1-2 split. Which was good because I was tired, so I got more money.
Yeah, he's such a pussy, right? So that's what he does. That's what he does all the time.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I play in the finals, I won't offer you a split.
I'm not worried. I probably won't see you. You can't get past Ryland, so I'm not really too worried about
it. I've won in your center before. Have you?
What have you won?
He won the Invitational.
Oh, I thought you broke your hand against Weber, so I wasn't too worried about that either. But what we really want to know about the 20 gamer Mitch is what happened to Couchman? Why didn't he finish his?
Yeah, we were like, I guess we were. He wasn't too messed up actually, which is surprising. But no, he only had like 5 or 6 drinks. He was in good attitude. I guess he did something to his arm or neck. And he was pumping the CBD oil and probably a whole bottle of Advil. I was like, "Oh man, calm down. I know you don't have a soul and everything, but you don't need to take that." And he's like, "Oh, my neck's fucked." And I'm like, "Okay." So he throws a ball, slow, slower than like Diane Violini, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "I can't do it anymore, Mitch." And he proceeds to play the whole rest of the game. I'm like, "Man, just bail out then." And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I have to. I'm like, yeah, man, there's like 7 games left. But that was 2 games after he had thrown a 125.
I don't think there's a problem with quitting on a 20 gamer. I've been there. I think did we do an overnighter, Tim? And I said, I'm out at game 10. See you later. I'm done.
Yeah, but in all fairness, when you quit, you told everybody you're quitting after game 10. So
I told everybody I'm not playing 20 games. I'll come play 10 games, but I'm leaving. So don't be surprised. I think I made it to 12. Anyways, let's kick these two out of here and get back to Randy. This is
Adam. Is there anything you wanted to say too?
Yeah,
I could see you get 2 cents in there.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. So, are you ever going to accept that 10K match, or
Oh my god!
or are we going to play it and then you were going to want to split?
Guys, let's just split for 5 each.
that's a Mitch motto right there. Yeah.
Never turn down free money, Tim. Never.
Every one of your matches, I swear to God. Yeah.
All right, thanks guys for coming on.
Yeah.
yeah, see you guys.
Okay, and shockingly, no answer again.
Yeah.
I saved him from the embarrassment.
Yeah.
All right, that was good.
Thanks for putting up with that, everybody. Get a little game action. I was impressed in the What's My Score. That was well done. Well done, everybody.
Yeah. Like you said, it turned out Randy was having some internet connection, so we can just blame his latency problem, and his hand was probably up a lot faster than the rest of the guys. So.
That's right. It's clearly just the delay. Everything runs slower on Mountain Time. So.
That's
let's get into this a little bit, if you don't mind. I think we'll still hold off on the 400 story and that coming up, guys. You're okay with that? And let's chat about you talked about it, some frustration, some anger, and you had some issues when you were younger, and you've come a long way. Let's dive in there. We'll let you lead the way, and where do you want to go with this, Randy?
Sure. I think a lot of people experience some form of anger issues, frustration issues with the game, especially in YBC when they're younger. It's very easy to succumb to that, and I did very, very egregiously in some cases. A lot of the guys, Mitch is a little.
Uh-oh. We were talking about his connection issues.
Younger than me, so he didn't actually get to see me. Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
We're back? Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. So yeah, Mitch is a little bit younger than me. He didn't get to see me when I was 19, 20, 21, coming out of YBC and going into the adult leagues. And it's very easy, I find, when you're isolated to your zone and your center, and in YBC you're a superstar. Or just crushing comes up against you, and I kind of went into the adult leagues thinking that I was amazing. I thought I was one of the best bowlers who had ever played the game. I was destined to be one of the best bowlers, and when that didn't happen, I got a harsh dose of reality that way. I didn't take it well. I hadn't learned how to lose at bowling yet. One of my other hobbies is games. I play chess a lot. And when you play a game of chess, if you lose, it's your fault. And it's your fault. And so you have to step back and analyze and figure out what you did wrong and then work to improve that. When you're bowling, it's a little different because it's very easy to fall into the trap of, I just got unlucky. Well, for some reason the breaks aren't falling my way. For some reason I'm picking more than other people. I must just be, unlucky in that my ball is drifting too close to the head pin. And you in doing so, you fail to address the fact that it's actually you who's struggling and you who's doing something wrong, and it's very easy to fall into bad emotional patterns of getting angry and getting frustrated at what's going on. It may come as a shock to people who bowl with me nowadays. I had a really, really aggressive temper when I was a younger bowler, and it actually still flares up from time to time. I've done a lot of work on it, and really gotten a lot of it under control. Whereas, like, you know, I can kind of turn it off and on as I want. But yeah, I was the guy who was kicking ball returns every shot, stomping my foot on every head pin. Just you know, you do two disservices to yourself when you allow that type of frustration and that type of anger to overcome you. First, you do a disservice to yourself because you're not being honest with yourself, and you're failing to find moments on your game, and instead just getting frustrated and just unleashing it all in anger and in this emotional external display to try and let people around you know that you think you're better than what you're putting up right now. And instead of looking, doing more introspective work and being like, what can I do to and turn it into a positive for yourself so that later on you don't make the same mistakes again. And I really did that to myself. But even more importantly is I did a big disservice to the bowlers around me because, nobody is a self-made bowler. You can't teach yourself how to bowl on your own. You're reliant on coaches. You're reliant on proprietors to run centers for you, to give you space to bowl, to allow you to practice. You're reliant on your competition to be respectful to you when you play, and be graceful when they beat you. And when you don't reciprocate that respect to them and be grateful to them when they win, and instead just throw it, they don't think, and you're not going to get better. And I learned that lesson the hard way. And throughout my whole 20s, I was really good coming out of YBC. I was averaging 250, 260, making tons of tournaments, making tons of cuts. Not 2 years later, I found myself not being able.
I think we might have lost them this time.
At least.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, no. There we go. Okay.
Sorry. You kind of cut out about the coming out of YBC, being a really good player, making tons of cuts, and then a couple of years later, and that's kind of where you cut out.
Yeah. So I thought I was great. I thought I was one of the best bowlers ever to live. I thought I was destined to be a great one. And, I didn't do it right. It turned out to be wrong. I spent the better part of the next decade not being able to break a 240 average. I spent a long time, every now and then I might make a club tour cut. Every now and then I might make an open. But I wasn't putting in the work. I wasn't doing, the analysis of my game that I needed to, and instead let frustration and anger take over. And my emotions ruled me for a long time. Mitch, and some of the other bowlers in Ontario probably haven't seen it, but there are a lot of bowlers in Ontario who did see it. You talk to some of the older guys, talk to Jim Thorpe and talk to Jim Head, and they saw what I was like. they can attest that I was probably not a very pleasant bowler to be around for quite some time. And so I guess, approach your game with caution. It's good to have passion for your game. It's good to show that emotion, and it's okay to show frustration sometimes, but you have to be respectful of the people around you, because if you're not, they're not going to help you, and you're on your own. And if you're on your own in this game, you're not going to get good.
What led to the acknowledgement that you realized that you had that issue, that you realized that the anger was ruling your game instead of letting the talent come through, right?
It took losing a lot, and before it finally sunk in that, this isn't just, it should have happened much sooner. I should have been able to pick up on it. That, like I said, if you're, maybe one tournament you get unlucky and you pick a bunch of head pins and you get a bunch of splits. But when you do it for tournament after tournament after tournament, year after year after year, it should start to sink in that it's not luck anymore. Luck is a zero-sum game. You know, you're going to get lucky some days and you're going to get unlucky other days. So if you're not winning, it's not bad luck. It's something you need to fix about your game. And so it took losing, like I said, almost 10 years straight before I realized, oh wait, it's me. I'm not the greatest bowler out there.
No.
I have a lot of work to do to get there.
I wouldn't mind diving into the anger side of that and that emotion, because obviously thank you for sharing, Randy. That's huge of you to say, and recognizing that was an issue and getting better, but also just sharing that, you were an angry bowler at times. I was an angry bowler too myself when I was young, and I can definitely know that there was a handful of people in the Edmonton area that had bad reputations for being angry bowlers too. Ball returns getting kicked, scoreboards getting smashed, walls in the bathrooms getting punched, kicked. It happened. I broke knuckles. It happened. Anger was absolutely part of my game. And I just got mad at the world or the thing because I wasn't getting a strike. Well, it's not because I wasn't throwing a good ball. It's because I was just mad at the world. I should have gotten it. That guy got it and I didn't get it. Well, fuck them, right? And it was not a good environment. And I even got to the point that I actually had to stop playing League for a bit because anger ruled me every Sunday night I played. I'd take my shoes off after a game and a half and play with socks for 2 games. Like, who does that? Like, what a terrible attitude that was, right? And really, it was just the emotion of anger that got in there. So, good on you for recognizing that. Did you guys experience anything like that too? How does that feel for you guys?
Yeah, big time. Your story really resonates with myself, and like I was with yourself, DB. Kind of coming out of YBC, and I've had a chance to talk about this a few times previously, but I was a prick. Like, I was an absolute asshole on the lanes. I knew it. I couldn't stop it. Nothing was my fault, right? It was always the lanes. It was always, something, the approach. It was always somebody else's fault, right? I'd kick ball returns. I'd throw balls from the back of the pit, and just do all the stuff that everybody absolutely hates, right? And just kind of came to that tipping point where I think it was about the end of the first quarter, and of one of the leagues there on Monday nights, and I finally quit, and finally basically said to the group, I said, I can't do this to the group. It's affecting everybody around you guys, around the league itself. I need to make a change, and quite frankly, I told myself I did not want to be like 2 people within our bowling community, and I finally came to that realization that I had to change, and came back to start the next year, and everything kind of came around a little bit. You start realizing that you can't be the focal point of a league. You can't be the focal point of negativity around the league. And it took a long time. I'm still dealing with it, right? I still get very passionate on the lanes. I still want to punch something when I when I plow or whatever, right? Especially in a big shot. But you have to realize that it's more than just about yourself, right? It's about the other people around you. It's about your other competitors. And what you're saying, Randy, as well, is you're bowling for your community. Though that community is there to support you as well. And if all of a sudden you shun that community, there's zero chance they're getting that support back. So your story really resonates with myself. It actually brings a little PTSD as well. But no, I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, and that community will let you know too. I mean, I got a comment one time, and I won't say who said it because appropriate or not appropriate. I was leaning over to pick up a ball one time, and the bowler on the other side to me said, "It's a shame that such talent is wasted on a bowler like you." And I knew that I had a hot temper, and I knew that I was upsetting people, but it stings. And you want to be part of this group, you want to be part of this community, and to have it. And this was a well-respected bowler who said this, so it meant a lot. And you have to take a step back and think about it. Man, what am I doing? what's the point of playing this game if nobody cares if I win or lose?
Right.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I can sort of touch base on, like, I think we all were a little bit hot-headed when we were younger, to some extent. Maybe not Kerry. I've never really seen Kerry ever lose his marbles, but I think honestly for us out here, for myself, it was just in a sense of entitlement, and I will say that incompletely because. And it's no different. Maybe Adam can attest, and Daryl had success too. When you win a lot of things growing up in the youth program, and then you're playing an adult league, right? And I'll be honest, the league that we talked about was our Wednesday night match league. It wasn't like we were ever told not to do it. It was a ton of us that were able to smash shit and break things and lob balls. And
it was very common in some of those leagues for a few years there. It was very common.
Broken walls, broken tables, things are absolutely being... I remember Gino. I love Gino to death. Gino broke his hand on a table at Bonnie Doon, and he had to finish his last 2 games with a broken hand because, well, that's what Gino does. But it was totally enthralled in us. Maybe it was the wrong way, but I think our culture's a lot changed now out here, I would say. And I think a lot of it, honestly, for me, was more involvement into the bowling center, taking my master course because if I'm going to be around kids or if I'm going to have that course, I can't be setting that example. I always believed in that. And then even though we all have our little bit of outbursts once in a while, and then the other one was association stuff. You can't be acting like a meathead and be a part of associations, right? So it all goes down the rabbit hole like that. But I think we've all been there at some point, and it's just a matter of time before we, I guess, mature, right? So
it's kind of neat hearing your guys' take on stuff like that, and I definitely get the whole frustration, the anger thing, and maybe it's my bringing up through baseball, being a part of a competitive scene in a team format, where if you showed outside anger, if you showed any of that, you didn't play, right? You went home, you didn't get to compete, you didn't get to play, be a part of practices, none of that stuff. And then I wasn't very good in YBC, I was mediocre, and then coming into bowling after that whole thing kind of ended and actually being half decent at bowling, I still to this day when I'm playing bad, you can just see it, like I boil, I get so mad, but I don't show it because that's the way it was. You didn't show it because you didn't want to be sat, you didn't want to be sent home and not be able to play anymore. So that's I guess probably where that comes from. And maybe it has to do with not being very good in YBC and coming up and thinking that you should succeed so early and stuff like that. Definitely, there's a lot of factors to it, right? But I definitely get the anger and frustration because I can still feel it. It drives me up the wall.
I will say, though, I think once you realize, or there is that realization of how you can control your emotions or anger or whatever it is, you become a better bowler. There's no doubt about it. As soon as you stop blaming the lanes and, like Randy said, you figure out, hey, you know what? It's not me. I got to figure out a line. I got to figure out maybe it's my role. It's maybe what I'm doing this and that. I think that's what's changed out in our community a lot because there's a lot more talking about how to fix something than complaining about the lanes, right?
I think that could have been one of the smartest things that Tim has said in 116 podcasts. Once you learn, like we could roll a tape back that one says that. Once you learn to control your emotions and not have anger, you become a better bowler. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is once you learn to realize, control your emotions, and you totally do, right? Don't let anger into the equation. Don't. There's no reason to get mad. You're playing a game and you should be enjoying yourself. Sure, a little frustration, but don't get mad and to that point. Don't allow that in. That's just negativity that you just can't allow in.
So I think that's kind of one of our issues that well, as Tim mentions as well, it has changed over the years, right? We all grew up watching that stuff from a YBC day, and these were the best players that were out there, and we're mimicking everything they're doing because we want to be them, right? And that's where for the so-called professionals on the the WCBT tour and all these national events, that's why we have to take it so seriously, and why we have to behave on the lanes, because we don't know who's watching. Right, I watch my son all the time at one of these events, and he mimics everything the next time he goes out bowling. Right, he mimics myself. He mimics Mitch now. He does that stupid shark claw, stupid thing. Right, like they recognize everything. Right, and they want to be the best, and they're watching the best. So that's why we really have to adhere to our high standards to make sure that next generation gets better than we are, right?
I love this, Jeff. A little bit of humor in this serious topic. I love it. You should be working on the anger issue instead of becoming a fat bowler.
But I mean, out of all of us, we've all made our cuts, and we've all made our national championships or provincial championships. And as soon as you see the one guy you're playing against get angry and hot and start acting out, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, it's over. I got that one in the bag, right?" And it's you're already like you go for blood. Like it's automatically instilled in you. Like, and you're not the one doing it, because you know how to calm your emotions, right? So that's just how I've looked at things over the last few years, and obviously things have been good for me, I think, and experience. I think experience.
I haven't seen Tim throw a chair in a while, so it's really working.
Well, those players are going one of two ways, right? Either they're gearing up, and that's kind of like their reverse psychology to go, or they're in deep trouble, and you basically have them by the throat, right?
Yeah.
I actually remember.
Go ahead, Randy. Sorry. That's exactly. I was going to segue over back to you. Go for it.
Well, I remember back to a match I had in a Masters cut, and I was playing against Jeff Young, and we were both struggling like crazy. Head pin. I think the two of us probably put up more than 12 in a single game match between the two of us. I was getting angry. I was getting frustrated. He was frustrated, but he was channeling it better than he did. And I let him walk away with a win against me. I think he threw a 170 something, like a 165. And there's the difference was I was getting frustrated and not realizing, hey, this is still a close match. You don't have to bowl at 280 here. You just gotta pin it out. And he beat me, and he deservedly so. You're right. A very strong bowler will recognize when they found a weakness, and they'll press it. They'll dig in, and they will make sure that you are punished because they know you're weak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A boxer will know when to give an uppercut or a knockout punch instead of just giving a whole bunch of jabs. They'll jab at you until they're ready to give you the uppercut.
Yeah.
So for you, Randy, now how is this approach, or what are you doing to practice this, or recently, like how does it, moving forward and whatnot, like how's recognizing that the game has just gotten better? Like how recent are we talking that this is a conscious effort for you to be, being more relaxed and enjoying the game versus getting angry and frustrated? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Long term, I've been working on it for probably 10 to 12 years. But I was in my mid 20s when I finally realized it was when I stepped away from the game a little bit, and I was only bowling like a week here and there in the odd tournament. And I realized I need to try and have more fun doing this, because otherwise, even if I get good, I'm gonna hate doing this all the. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. It's just cutting out every once in a blue moon. You're fine.
Okay, sounds good. I would say probably just the last 5 years, it's been a lot better. Even at an open qualifying, I want to say back in like 2014, 2015, I was getting frustrated how I was bowling. I actually picked up a chair like I was going to throw it across the bowling alley because I was playing so poorly. Fortunately, I didn't. I kind of caught myself and put it down. But it scares everybody, and you have to. It's just not fun. And so I would say the last 5 years, I've still had the odd moment where I feel like hitting a ball on the ball return. I also broke my hand backhand once. I haven't done that in a long time, which is turns out it's not easy to bowl with a broken hand. Although I must say I did get really good at making sure I punch things with my non-bowling hand.
Even high fives.
Even high fives. I learned that one even faster than not getting angry at all. But yeah, it's a recent thing, and I'm still working on it. Anger is a weird thing. It just makes your blood boil sometimes, and you feel like you're out of control. You feel like you have to hit something. You have to burn off this rush of energy that you've had, and it's learning how to channel it in a way that disperses the energy that you're feeling without actually disrupting or causing unrest to the environment around you.
I think Dex ended up kind of mentioning that one time too. It's just that 5-pin bowling, there is no like formal outlet that you can get rid of, right? It's not like hockey where you can go out and body check a guy and just kind of get rid of that negative energy, right? I remember Collingwood had their punching bag for a little bit, right? Like it's just if there was a little bit more of an outlet, maybe that would have helped. But thankfully, I have seen a noticeable positive change in that over the years.
Maybe we just need a safe room, right? Don't you need a safe room so you can just go and scream in? Like I'm picturing calling it upstairs. If we could have gone back out, could we go to Sherwood Bowl into the back room or into the little storage room bathroom?
You can do whatever you want. I'll just
into the WCBT Players Lounge.
Yeah, is there a broom closet or something somewhere?
I'll just flip it around the lock. You just won't get out. That's all.
Yeah, a whole bunch of padding on the walls. Yeah.
But I kind of want to know what the best. On a side note, what is the best blow up you ever seen somebody do? I want to know that. I mean, besides Mike Herbert, right? Let's take him out of the group, right? But what I want to know what the best blow up you've ever seen somebody do.
Oh, that sounds like a top 5 list.
Yeah, let's turn it around to something positive, right? Top 5. Yeah.
Positive?
I don't know.
Top 5 best blow-ups.
Yeah, shaming, yeah.
I don't know. I've seen lots of shoes. I've seen a bowling alley or a whole bowling alley tossed. Bowling ball tossed.
Haven't we seen a clock tossed? Right.
Smashed.
I've seen one smashed.
Yeah. Lots of bowling balls tossed. Lots of shoes ripped off to the back wall.
The Herbert bag toss throwing out the bowling center and landing on a car driving down the street's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
That was outside the front doors at Neb's, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was somewhere.
I think that's what the story is.
It was at Neb's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of a few guys around Edmonton. I mean, Schultz has had a few. Johnny's had a few. Lecousier's. There's some guys that have had some good effing, right? Yeah. There's been some local guys that have had some good blow-ups. Yeah. Yeah, breaking hands. I broke my knuckle in the semifinal, or no, that's on the Friday at Nationals, Open Nationals. Luckily we won, but I couldn't play the next day because my knuckle was already out to here. Yeah. Right. Like how dumb are you in the Nationals, right? Playing in the finals and you can't even fucking play.
What about Gino throwing the ball down the highway? We talked about that.
Yeah. He tossed it down a parking lot and it jumped the curb and went down the highway number 1.
And he had to walk down the highway to get his bowling ball, and it was just that was in the open. That was hilarious.
That could have been bad.
I broke in my hand at bowling, and I'll say this: I'm still feeling the effects. I can't do can openers. I can't do any of that stuff properly. It's still, and like you look at my hands, they're not that's still not the same. So. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you guys keep punching stuff. Eventually, there won't be many of you left.
We don't do that anymore.
Lot of them. I think we've held off enough, guys. Do you think maybe we should start to talk about the Autumn Open experience for Randy Main there last couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
So Randy, have you coming into the tournament? Let's start from the beginning. Did you play the doubles the night before? Did you play? What shift did you qualify in? Let's start from scratch on the Autumn Open experience for you.
Sure. Let's start. Let's go back about 9 months before the Autumn Open. So as you guys saw, and as Nathan alluded to, my style has changed a lot in recent times. My arm swing used to come so far out to the side, just completely sideways. So much so that friends who went bowling with me joked that I was the...
Dang it. That would have been
bird
good.
of prey, because I think I had the other arm. It was just a... I don't know. It was a completely ridiculous style, and my accuracy went in the tank. I couldn't, sometimes I would find it and I'd hit the middle a lot, and a lot of times it was just a mess. And so I took the pandemic actually as an opportunity. Now, fortunately in BC, we didn't get fully shut down like other places did. Our bowling alleys never had to fully close. Leagues couldn't play. You had to have really strict, capacity limits, but we were able to go out and bowl. And so every week I went to the alley and I said, I'm going to make my arm swing come behind my back if it's the last thing I do, because I don't see myself having a good career for the last, 10 to 20 years that I'm able to play the game well, if I can't fix this. And my first attempt to do it was absolutely atrocious. My body was just like, no, you don't bowl like that. Your natural swing is out to the side. My shoulder would hurt. I couldn't line up properly. It would turn everything. It was time, tear it all down, and just start over. With my arm at my side, I'm not going to swing it. I'm just going to use my shoulders and my body to direct the ball where I want to go. And I did that. And the first time I did that, I played an 8-game practice, and I shot 24-33 for 8 games. I thought, okay, that's weird. What is happening right now? I'm not doing anything. And so I thought, okay, it's probably a fluke. I'll keep going out and trying it. And week after week after, I was hitting, I was carrying, things were looking up. So I just kept doing it. And fast forward to Autumn Open, I had no intention of bowling that style going into that tournament. I thought I was going to develop something before then, but it was just working. And so, don't change something if it's not broken. And I actually qualified with my first shift. I had just flown in that day, got off the plane, went to my B&D, stopped in quickly, went to the bowling alley, and shot the 21, low 21. I don't remember exactly what it was, but and I was happy. My goal coming into this was to make the cut. That was all I wanted to do. And I figured if I make the cut in the first time out there, bowling a completely new style, a completely new region, I don't know anybody here, I'll be happy. So, that was satisfying. I did attempt to qualify again, actually, at the start of the Saturday afternoon shift, and said, you don't have to throw. You'll be fine. You need 14 guys here to pass you in this shift. It's not going to happen. I said, I would hate to come down here and miss the cut sitting on the bench. So, whatever. If I make the cut with that score, then this shift is free anyways. It doesn't matter. And I'm kind of glad I did, because for a while there, it was actually looking like
it was 11.
My 21-12 might not make it. I think with 2 games, the cut average was actually higher than my pace, my average. So I was worried. I wasn't bowling well the second day, so I spent the whole last 2 games, probably to the chagrin of the people I was bowling with, just running back and forth across the bowling, checking scores,
watching scores.
To make sure I was going to
I'd
make
be doing
it.
the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I just became a spectator that day, but fortunately made it. And then one other thing that I experience when I travel sometimes, I don't sleep well all the time when I travel. That Saturday night, I went home, and I was full of energy. I made the cut. I was excited. I decided I'm going to go to bed early. I went to bed as soon as I got home, probably like 11:30, and slept for 90 minutes. And then 1 o'clock, I was wide awake, and I could not get back to sleep. So prior to bowling that top 40, I was working on 90 minutes of sleep, and I felt like garbage. But it is what it is. There's nothing I could do at that point. Pop down a 5-hour energy drink some coffee, and hope that you can find something. And I didn't. I bowled absolutely terrible the first 5 games of that day. I was hitting a lot, actually. I couldn't carry anything. My ball was so flat that, you name it, and it was happening. Power chops, 12 counts, blow throughs. I had a couple of deflections even. I made multiple ball changes just trying to figure something out, and nothing was working. And then going into that game 6, I had, I think, 1050 for 5. Just atrocious. It was to write home about at all. And I thought, I'm basically here as a spectator now. There's nothing to do but to sit back. I was bowling with Kerry, who eventually won the tournament. I was bowling with Gino. He was also bowling really well that day. I was just going to try to get up, throw my shots, and get off the lane. I don't remember a lot from the perfect game, oddly enough. I remember coming back after the 3rd frame and looking up at the scoreboard and seeing that I had thrown a triple, and I think that was the first triple I had thrown all day. So it's just like, oh, look at that. A little late, but yeah, it's something to be happy about. And then I don't remember any of the shots I threw up until the 9th, after the 9th frame. I think maybe there was one strike in there. I'm trying to get the full footage from Mark. He's supposed to be sending me a USB in the mail, but I haven't got it yet, so I'll have to reach out to him and see if that's coming. I'm pretty sure there was one strike in there that was real skinny. Like, it had no business hitting the middle, but it did, and it went. So, and then coming back after 9, I didn't know how many strikes I had thrown. I then looked up at the board and was like, oh wow, I've actually thrown the first 9, and I'm glad that I did that, because I've never made it past 8 before. I probably would have felt a lot more immense pressure on the 9th shot had I known that that's how many I had. Then the heart started racing. That was, I mean, we've all felt, you guys have all felt it before. You're panicked. You're like, oh my god, I'm actually close to bowling a perfect game. I went to the back, sat down, and I was doing like breathing exercises. I mean, I didn't know any breathing exercises. Childbirth, you do the like just anything to try and slow my heart rate down, which worked for a time. And then I went up in the 10th, and of course it starts racing again. And this you often imagine what it's going to feel like to bowl a perfect game, especially if you haven't done it before. And you imagine it from the perspective of somebody who's spectating, somebody who gets to watch and be excited with you and cheer on every strike. Well, it turns out when you're actually throwing it, you don't get to experience any of that. It is a lot more work than it should be. I spent the whole time just trying to keep my nerves down, by saying go through the exact same motion every single shot, from every little detail. Pick up your ball the same way, wipe off the ball, put the towel down on top of here, put your foot up, take a breath. And, it might seem ridiculous to be focusing on all those things, but at least focusing on all those things, I wasn't focusing on how nervous I was, and I wasn't focusing on how fast my heart rate was going. And so, I'd done it 9 times already. I was seeing my spot really well that game for some reason. All I was doing was getting up to the line and juicing the ball with as much fingers as I could and make it roll over that spot. And so, I was able to kind of calm the nerves. The 10th one, I pulled the shoulder up a little bit, but I usually hit left pocket, and that was fine, because if I tighten the shoulder up a little bit, it's just going to go right pocket, and I'm okay. I don't think I threw a better strike all game than that from it, but I didn't, because I was like, I would hate to walk away and be wrong.
Did you want to, while you're talking through this, did you want to watch it, Randy, and then relive the moment?
Yeah. You know what? I kind of thought you might do that. So
yeah, for sure. I can hopefully everybody can
hear an echo myself. Is that unavoidable?
I'm not too sure. I don't hear an echo, so it might be just on your side.
Okay. It might just be. Let's just go ahead with it.
So this is obviously you going up for your 10th strike.
This is the 10th strike, yeah. And, just exactly what I said before. Taking a breath before I step up, doing the same routine. I usually blow on my hands in it because I have hands. This instant, my hands were so clammy that I was trying to dry them off.
How about now?
Yeah, let's see if that's a bit better. It's just a bit of lag, it's okay. And then, so I tightened the shoulder a bit on that one, crossed over to the right side, it was fine. I actually leaned back to somebody here, I don't know who it was, it was Alan, Gino, Anthony, somebody, and proclaimed to them that I had just bowled my first 400 game. I looked up, and it was just like, oh man, what's happened? I can't stop now, I've got 2 more shots to throw, I got to throw the perfect game. And then this shot was... this was gold. I don't think I can throw a better shot than I did here. I'll let the video speak. So
11 was a beauty.
You're repping your Toronto Metro shirt, eh?
That was nice.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch the splatter at Paradise. Strikes were so pretty to watch at Paradise. It was just nice.
This last strike is something else.
Yeah, so I dropped this ball. Not terribly, but I definitely dropped it a bit. And at that point, it was just prey. I mean, like, okay, I hit. That corner was nasty. I didn't want my first perfect game to be that tense. And then it went. Yeah. And now at this point, I can start to kind of let the emotions come out that I've been suppressing for so long and get to enjoy it a little bit. It was a little weird knowing that game still didn't put me in the cut, and I kind of just became I kind of became game wonder there, but it didn't matter. It was such a good achievement that I didn't need to make the top 16th, right? That was enough.
I think I recall.
I'm good. I can sit down.
I think I recall when you were on a 7 or 8 bagger, and I was maybe watching on 15, 16, and we looked over and you're on. So I walked over to the score sheet, and you did have 1,050 after the 5, and I was like, "Where is he? Where 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 is he?"
Right in the middle now.
Yeah.
I don't know this for sure, but I was because I was sitting after the 9th frame, still right in front of the scoreboard, and I'm pretty sure somebody walked up to the scoreboard and said something like, "Oh no, it doesn't matter."
Yeah. It sure does. Yeah. Well, it was awesome to watch. Awesome to watch, and awesome for everybody else too.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a couple of other attempts and some good runners, and good on you to win it. And it didn't go to somebody that we knew a whole lot, so we didn't have any hard feelings at all. So we were super happy for Randy to win it, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was great, and actually,
go for it. I think there's a little story here.
I'll take this time to talk very quickly about the little friendly bet that I always had going on with Nathan Cooper. For the longest time, I hadn't thrown a 400 obviously until then, but I had thrown over 1,000 for 3 quite a few times actually, and he had never done that. So we had the challenge to see if he could throw the 1,000 triple before I could throw the 400 game, which he did over and over and over again. And then he even broke 1,100 just like a month ago with a 448 game. So he had his shot at it and stuck the corner on the last ball. The very first thing I did after bowling that perfect game and kind of doing the lap of congratulations, I walked up, I snapped a picture of the game, I sent it to him and said I beat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And
But I hear there's a little bit of a story around making a few bucks that day too. That you were quite happy to hear.
Oh yeah. So I didn't know how the perfect game pot worked. I didn't put in the first day. I didn't know how I was gonna play. Actually prepared to play like absolute garbage and just I paid my money. I had an experience and I get to go home. So I didn't put in a lot of pots. I didn't try to find a lot of doubles partners. I think I might have put in for singles once. And then the second day, I was actually just putting in doubles with, I don't even remember who I played doubles with. No, not important. And I forgive me, I don't know the West Bowlers. I don't know the ladies who were sitting behind the counter taking the registrations there. But one of them said, "Why don't you play the perfect game pot?" I was like, "Fine, sure, I'll put in. I'll take my money." And so if it were not for that, I not in a million years did I dream I would have bowled a perfect game at that tournament under those conditions. Being tired and it being my first event, just completely unexpected. Don't know how it happened. Still don't know how it happened, but it happened.
That's usually when it shows up, right?
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to throw one, and like the first one was just totally unexpected. We were playing Masters at Toppler, and I wasn't playing good at all, and was lucky enough just all of a sudden threw a perfect game, and everything felt great to not a bad shot in the bunch. And the game after that was complete garbage, but you throw the 12 great shots, the ones that matter, and it's just weird how it shows up. Like, I know, Adam, you were chasing yours for quite a while, and you obviously threw yours during open qualifying, so yours was probably a little bit less unexpected because you're probably playing good at the moment. But yeah, my Masters, I was playing complete garbage and then just threw one.
Yeah, and you played two hard houses. I mean, you got Leduc was super tough, and Toppler is super tough too at that time.
Yeah.
So people told me that Paradise there is actually a bit on the tougher side for houses in that area. I don't know if that's true. No. It didn't seem true. I was like, the scoring here seems pretty okay. Definitely better than what I'm used to playing on. But
Mitch said it was tough, but he's used to mountain, so.
Oh, that's who I heard it from. So
Jesus. Paradise has always been great scoring, except for the 2 years they had a little bit of a blip in there. That was 2 years, about 5 or 6 years ago. But Paradise has always been great, and there are no black bases. Like, they're one of the few centers that don't, and they have great scoring. Yeah, I have never had complaints there ever.
Just a little extra conditioner these days.
Yeah. Lots of conditioner.
We any guesses? Will you take a guess if there'll be one at the TPC? How many games did we talk about earlier they're playing that day?
Right, roughly if they fill out, like based on 265 entries, would be 2,500 games of perfect game pot eligibility. 2,500 games.
So what's here's the question. What's the highest score single game to be thrown at the TPC?
I say over 400. That's easy.
Thanks.
Jesus Christ, Tim. You think so? Really? Up 400?
Didn't have 3 that year?
Yeah, I'll say like I'm not anything under a 435. I don't think it'll go to 11.
Cody better not be a 438. If somebody rips a 3-pin on the ball.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be Mitch if that was anybody. That'd be Mitch.
What's everybody's guess? There you go. Let's get some comments. Yeah. What's everybody's guess for highest score thrown at the TPC?
Len's close, 237. Yeah.
Right.
I'm calling
440 with a plow.
Oh, you're 440? 445.
I'll say 440 with a miss.
I'm going to be confident and say it'll happen again.
Is it with or without a leaner?
Good juju, I like it.
Is it with or without
no leaners? No leaners.
Okay.
No leaners.
Then I'm going to say 430.
30, eh?
Yeah. Dex, what about me, Cindy? Fuck.
Dex is going to throw a 448. No, this will be the time that he actually probably throws a perfect because he's come and due.
Well, with or without a foul. Like if he gets a perfect,
yeah, it's still 435, bud. Yeah.
Well, he ended Sunday night with a house just a street shoe on his pusher. So.
Oh, really? He wrecked his.
Yeah,
right shoe?
Finally gave away.
Oh,
well,
his shoes have been needing.
That comes with the good bowler.
Yeah.
Right? You blow shoes.
Or garbage shoes.
A lot of fours.
That doesn't even fucking happen, Dougie. Like, what? Like, you can't get a 447.
Dude, I have a 4-4. I have a 447.
Oh, yeah, you can. Wow.
Tim, what the heck?
That was my first attempt. I've only had 2.
Okay, back to what's my score practice.
Yeah.
What do we predicting cut line to be?
So last year, the last time it was run, it was what, 2,200?
21.99.
21.99 with 264 entries.
Yeah. So only a few more entries, you would think, right? So.
Well, what's your max, Tim?
It all depends what Thursday is.
I know, but what is the max if you fill all your shifts?
Okay, 256 for Friday, Saturday.
Mm.
Okay.
And then bonus on
Thursday.
So you're going to be 280.
Maximum 48 or maximum 32?
Whatever we can get in there. Up to 48. Right. Yeah.
Right. Up to 48.
So 304?
If I go and play Thursday, you'd give away my Friday shift.
Yeah.
Because you're primary?
Well, it's past the primary right now, but
that
would be the assumption, right?
Yeah. You've already played your one shift. You have to go now to the next guy who's a re-entry. It's sort of backdoor way of getting a third shift in, right?
2744 Eleni Anseth. That's a little high.
It's not Timmy's Masters.
I'm gonna say Sherwood's a little bit tougher this year than it was a couple of years ago. So I think it's gonna be roughly the same, 2,200 on the nose.
I think 22. Very few, like, I don't think the 20 entries makes a huge difference, to be honest with you. I'm really interested to see how the approach is. Like, the synthetic lanes with that many people in there will become heavier. I will say that. So
what's your score?
I said
I think 2207.
I said 2,200 on the nose there. Yeah.
I think it's going to be just a little bit less. I think 2196.
2196, yeah.
I've never played there. I have no idea what scoring's like there.
You seem like a numbers guy to me, so can you extrapolate a number for us?
Yeah, out of 280 entries, what do you
Well,
and it was 21.99.
Okay, well, I'll use the only data that I have in that you all made predictions of what the cut would be at at Autumn, and I believe Tim got it closest. I think he said 2,100 on the nose, didn't he? Yeah, so I gotta give it to him again. So I'll go 2201. It was one higher.
We should actually, you know what, Randy? Yeah, you brought up a good point. Nobody gave me credit for that. Thank you.
No, I didn't hear it either.
I'm gonna have to go back to the video and rewatch that because I don't believe he was the closest.
What did I guess?
Yeah. And Price is Right rules. I didn't go over.
There you go. That's how you won. Oh, man.
So what else, Randy? I mean, obviously you're coming to TPC. We're looking forward to that. What does the rest of the year hold for you? Obviously, WCBT, more events. What's on the horizon? Obviously, you got a big fat check there. Every flight is booked for every tournament across the country for the next 2 years, or what?
That might be where it ends up going. I actually had no intention of playing any tournaments past the autumn, depending on how it went. I thought if I come out there and I play terrible, there's no reason to pay a bunch of money and go do it again somewhere. But that's not an issue now. I'm fortunate to be working somewhere where my boss is basically like, if you need time off for a bowling tournament, it's yours. You just tell us when and you can go.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity to try and play as many tournaments as I can. I'm hoping I can hit all 4. I don't know for sure if that'll actually happen, but the next one's is booked already. I will be there, so I'll try and carry it on as long as I can. Although I've also don't want to try and get my hopes up too much that I'm going to come and do a repeat or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, if it's okay, I made a bunch of notes here because I have ADHD, and I figured that going through all these questions I would probably miss something. There was one story I wanted to tell about the Master Senior win that I had back in 2002. I don't know if that year is correct actually, but it was close to that. It was near the end of my senior term, and I was bowling with Kevin Cripps, and the format of the tournament was you played 4 games. Both scratch and POA. You were ranked twice, and then at the end of the 4 games, whichever side you were higher on, they put you into that group and you played the next round. So if you had a high average, you were pretty much guaranteed to go on the scratch side, which we did.
Oh no.
Darn.
Longer pause than usual.
Oh.
Come back to us, Randy.
Right. Yeah.
It's trying.
So the next round, we moved into a new place and we're just using the landlord's internet right now, which is not bad, but it's not great. So we went into the next round, which was 3 games, team versus field. You played the people on your pair, and come on, internet.
You're back.
And we were going into the last game. We were down 1 point going into the last game. There was one team we needed to beat. Going into 9th, we were down about 10 or 15 sticks. We're down a ball.
We're gonna get there. I know we are. We're gonna make it.
We're gonna get there. Okay, I closed down everything else that was running. Okay. Their YBC bowler went up and threw a strike in 9. They were bowling ahead of us, so we're down a ball and now they're on a strike. Kevin was up for us, and he went up and he left the nastiest set of aces, just solid. It was at Nebs and they were free fall at the time, and we're just like, that's it. You're down a ball plus a mark, and we've just thrown aces. It's over. And he was so upset. He picked up a ball, barely set up at all. He just goes up, reefs it at the left 2-pin, which goes all the way across, out of the gutter, tackles the right corner like nothing to spare the aces. He comes back just on fire, just screams out. I don't think I made a noise. I was just in disbelief. I had already resigned. I was like, we were done. That was it. But he spared it, and then their master went up and tanked the 10th frame. I think he went 3-pin through the hole on their strike, and just all I had to do was go up and throw a couple marks, and I did. So, if he doesn't spare that, we're dead. And he did. And I don't think it was a bracket, 32-player bracket for the finals. I don't think he missed more than 2 or 3 strikes. It was Baker's format, I should mention. I don't think he missed more than 2 or 3 strikes in that final. We threw almost 1,600.
Holy cow.
For the 5 to take the tournament. Did the story get in?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, good.
That's huge. Well, with that all being said, we have reached the 2-hour mark, and we see your internet saying enough is enough.
Right?
But Randy, this has been unreal to get your insight into, especially the mental game and your career and how it all came around, and to literally pack you home with $10,000 in your pocket, pretty much. It's crazy how the story comes around, right? You finally got paid for all your hard work and all the perseverance, right?
Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping that within the next 10 years I can be playing as well as some of you guys out there. I know I'm not quite there yet. There's little glimmers of hope that my game is really getting good again, and I'm hoping that I can at least have a few years.
Well, he's definitely on the right path, and seems like he's got the right attitude. Right attitude, right path.
Playing
wants to
at
come
the highest level again before my body call it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yep, hoping so.
Awesome. Well, Randy, we'll let you go. We'll wrap this podcast up. Once again, thank you very much for coming on, and don't spend all that money in one place. Spend it out here a few more times, and you never know. Maybe you'll pack some more money home.
Yeah.
So
there's something else going on late Saturday night at the TPC that you'd probably use a little bit too.
Yeah, there you go. Keep it in your pocket for that.
Guarantee you put the $20 in for the perfect game.
Yeah.
I will put it in as soon as I get there. Anyways, thank you guys for having me. This was wonderful. I've loved watching your show. I love what you guys are doing. I think this is the right way forward for the sport. We really do need some, I appreciate the vision being put into it and the risk that you guys are taking, trying this, because there's no guarantee that this was going to succeed, but so far it seems like people are engaged. It seems like it's working, and it's really driving people back to the sport. I hope it continues to do so.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks,
Randy.
Thank you,
All right,
Randy.
man.
Thank
Have
you
a good
guys.
one, Randy.
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. That was kind of partway through, took an unexpected insight into kind of the mental side of it. Again, we've kind of constantly ran into that throughout all these podcasts, right? You run into the mental side, the frustration, the anger, the other stuff involved in the 5-pin bowling. Like most people say, it's 70% mental, 30% physical. It may be even way higher than that, right?
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Tough. Emotions creep in from all over the place. That's just what I was going to say. It's an emotional roller coaster at times. So it was awesome to have him share it with us.
It was just great getting to know Randy. None of us really knew Randy, and it's nicer to get to know him, especially if he's going to be coming on tour. We can finally put a name to a face and get to know him that way. But as for the mental side of the game, it's even us listening to other people on the podcast, I find that we can resonate with them, or we can learn things from people, right? And hopefully people can learn from what Randy said today, or for what we said today, and we can be better, right?
Yeah, and it's he's not alone. He's not. We've all gone through moments of frustration and anger, and I think a lot of the players in the game definitely do that. Mm-hmm. But like you said, Tim, your line was, control. Once you learn to control your emotions and anger, then you become a better bowler, and that's a big pinnacle moment for a lot of players. To not get mad, not get frustrated, just get better, just be better.
I definitely remember living that roller coaster back in the day, and boy, am I ever glad I kind of got off that roller coaster and kind of at least went on a more positive path, and try to bring that around the people that were in my inner circle there as well. So the other thing that I thought was really cool is that was his first ever 400. Which is always going to be like the super memorable, and I just wanted to find out, like, do you guys remember your first 400?
Yes, I remember my first 400 because I listened about it every occasion from Kevin Shilton. I shot a 4-way at Bonnie Doon during 4-step singles, and then he shot like a 370, and then I ended up losing that year for singles. But I remember shooting at 400. It was like an 8-bagger chop spare, I think it was. Yeah, at Bonnie Doon.
I remember probably, I think Sherwood Bowl was my first 401, then Skona 410, something like that. I can't remember mine. I wasn't in a good place when I was throwing them, and it didn't mean anything to me, really. 450s meant something to me, 400s didn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. I don't remember throwing it, but I know it was a 403 in my last year YBC, and I threw 3 400s my last year.
Wow.
So there's that number sticks out more to me than the actual numbers I threw. I think 403, 410, and then I couldn't tell you what the other one. I think maybe it was 400 on the nose. But yeah, obviously, the higher the number is, probably the more it sticks into your brain, for sure.
Yeah, I just think that first one always kind of that first big game, you finally get over that hump. And I remember mine was a 415 topper, 7-bagger chop spare bang out, and I was and this kind of brings me back a little bit too, because I was actually bowling with Ann Norris. And Ann Norris, if anybody remembers Ann and Ken, definitely a little bit more reserved, and I was not at that moment. So I was definitely very young. So that was a very, very cool moment, and super supportive, people around. So, I think everybody kind of remembers that first big game or the first big triple or whatnot, and Randy's gonna have that memory for the rest of his life. Pretty cool.
I do remember my first big triple. There's one. It was 990 for the Bowler of the Year Faxon tournament that they used to have. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, that was before your time, Tim.
Wow. Yeah, it was before.
I won it. That's all I remember. I was Bowler of the Year for, I don't remember if it was a C5 tournament or if it was a proprietors tournament. Not sure what it was, but you had to qualify in league or something like that. But yeah, 990 triple. It was pins over average too, I'm pretty sure. Pretty cool.
Oh, very cool.
All right. So a couple things I want to hit on before we close this out. Michaela Turner is still looking for people to take part in her master's project. So please, all these people listening and watching, please sign up for her master's project. This is a huge help out to 5-pin bowling. It's anonymous. She doesn't write your name in the book. If you don't want that to be disclosed or whatever, please take part in it. She's looking for 1 male, 1 female from every province. I know she's probably not even halfway to being full, and she has an open day tomorrow for interviews. So contact her so you can fill out the consent forms and get that into her so she can get this thing going and get her master's. Help her out with her stuff, right? We always talk about we're a family, we're a community. Well, let's put those words to work. Let's do it. All right. I do believe we have a draw. 5-pin apparel draw. Who do you think's gonna win this time? I know Adam probably
Not
got
me.
his stuff in there. No?
Of course, I put it in.
You got your pants coming. What are you, size medium? Medium pants?
Approximate. Left leg?
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything in this size. That's the problem.
Oh, wow. It kind of like your ego.
A hat can't fit me, yeah.
Oh,
Can't hide
Michaela
that bald
says
spot.
2 of each. 2 females, 2 males from each province. Come on. All right, so here's the 5-pin draw. We got 21 entries. Good luck, everyone. The Cooper. There you go. The winner from the What's My Score? Deserving.
Yeah, so there you go. Perfect. He deserves it.
2 and 1.
Have we already sent him a hat? I can't remember.
He did win something. I couldn't tell you when, where.
he
116 podcasts. Who knows?
He won the Weber membership.
Oh, right.
No,
That
no,
he
couldn't
didn't
make
utilize.
Yeah.
Because of
And-
us
and he
COVID
has
Alberta.
And he has a new tournament idea I see there. $1,000 20 gamer.
It's called the $1,000 Invitational, and you could have joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be 20 games. No.
Yeah.
Imagine playing.
Was it like 13?
How many guys? Yeah, $1,000 for a 20 game marathon.
14 games.
Who would pay $1,000 to play 20 games?
Not this guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, line should be about $10 a line, so I can tell you that'd be tough. It'd be $200 right there.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything we need to wrap up. Is there any... press conference next Wednesday. We haven't finalized our list yet and contacted everybody, but we're going to try and get that rock and rolling. Pro League this Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for everybody to tune in. It's Timmins and T-Bay playing Grand Prairie round robin, so some pretty good matches there.
Did you like the fist bumps and the
Oh, it was great.
They're awesome. Tim's is the best one out there.
I was like, I always get this photo over with, and boy, was I wrong.
We'll be getting some more photos of that at TPC. More photos of everybody.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. I really like it. And then Friday at 5, Mountain Standard Time once again will be the final video of the 8 gamer. So you get to see who gets crowned champion, take home a few $1,000s, and is the first virtual 8-game tournament that we've run, and maybe we'll be running in the future again, so stay tuned.
Close that chapter.
Alrighty. Well, thanks guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Cheers.
Good night.